Hi guys, it's been quite a while since I have posted any videos on here or recorded anything, but you are back in Abby's Corner, and I hope whatever time of day it is, whether it's the morning or the afternoon or the evening, as always, that you're feeling really good and just healthy and being your best self. Today I would like to talk about the idea of change and the idea of moving towards change and changing things in your life, because there is so much changing right now globally that I know the idea of change, people resist it a lot, but I do want to remind you that if you feel like you should change something or do need to change something, that is your birthright, your human right, and you should change something if something doesn't feel right or if something's not quite aligned. You never have to stick to one thing in life. If you have been a teacher for 17 years and maybe you want to go and be an artist or go and pursue something artistic or try something completely different or go into welding, I don't know, you can do that. You can shift that. You can change that if you want to. There's nothing that says you have to be exactly where you are. Life is dynamic and ever-changing, as we know, as I kind of said, and you can also be dynamic and ever-changing. You should be dynamic and ever-changing, which, as I said, change is scary, so it's not something that we move towards a lot, but when you do start to make those shifts towards things that you enjoy, life gets so much easier and it gets a lot better and it's more fun. We go through different seasons in life, okay? And they lend different experiences and knowledge for us and knowledge about us, and we learn more about ourselves in each season that we go through when we shed things and when we crop new things and when new opportunities come up. We're going through new seasons, and you might be going through many different seasons at one point. You might be going through one really difficult season. It doesn't matter, but it's in those moments that we learn what we can shift towards and what we can change for the better, for the more positive. So if you are going through something different, even if it is a little bit scary, don't be afraid to start changing things or to change yourself or to transform yourself in some way. You're not a tree. So if you don't like something, you can move, which I'm sure you've heard before because it's a quote I've seen all over the internet, but it's very true. Even if you have roots in something, if it is not aligning with you, if it doesn't feel right, there's nothing that says you have to stay there. There's nothing that says you have to be this one thing. I mean, for me, just in here in general, I was very spiritually oriented, very tarot cards, esoteric knowledge, and I've shifted out of it a little bit. I'm still there sort of, and I'm still not, but it's something that I'm welcoming, and I do still like to post videos and content that uplifts people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be rooted in esoteric wisdom anymore, and that's what I'm moving through right now. But at the same time, that shift felt kind of weird and scary because I was really comfortable in that other spot. But it's when things are scary that you actually should start moving towards them a little bit more, because we're kind of programmed to resist anything that could put us in danger. Or we are programmed to resist things that could put us in danger. So any sort of change might elicit a fight or flight reaction. So when you're moving through something and when a change comes up or an opportunity to change comes up, or when you feel like you should change or shift something about yourself or your life, and it feels scary, don't try and have a really tight grasp on the comfortable reality that you've built for yourself, because that too will change. Even if you don't change anything, odds are that reality is going to change. I mean, our realities for the most part as a planet have been shifted big time. And we had no control over that. But you do have control over what you can change in your life, and you do have control over what you're allowed to move towards and away from and what you're cultivating in your life. So the second that something starts to feel scary, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not for you. It just means it's not something that you've done before. And when you do something that you haven't done before, Even if it doesn't work out the way that you planned, you still learn something about yourself, and you learn how to move forward, and you learn how to reroute, and you reroute into something else, and you rebloom into something else. I've done it a million times. So you pivot. There's nothing wrong with that. My best advice right now is to move towards anything that makes you feel happy. Another thing that I have been doing a lot of is working out and creating home workouts because gyms are closed and things like that. And I like seeing that shift in myself, in my body, towards like strength and resistance training and stuff. It's fun for me. And that's really different than this other stuff that I've been doing. And so it felt really weird to start putting stuff out there about that, but it still felt right. Like I said, felt different, very different. I had a lot of things I had to reprogram kind of in my brain when it came to that sort of content that I was putting out, but I love it, and that's just another part of me, which is why it's okay to put yourself in multiple, like, it's okay to have your hands in multiple pots. You don't have to stick with one focus at one time. You can do different projects, and sometimes in doing those different, like, small parts of different projects, you'll learn what works for some, what doesn't work for others, what you really, really love to do, because I hit like a creative writer's block, even not creative writer's block, or creative block, not writer's block for the creative. And it was about putting out content here because I didn't know what I wanted it to do, because I just didn't feel rooted, like I said, in the esoteric sort of law of attraction sort of niche, but I still wanted to give people some sort of personal power, which is where everything sort of like culminates for me. Is I like to give people nuggets of wisdom from what I've learned, from what I've seen on the internet, and learn from other people and learn from my experiences, and hopefully help people in whatever way I can from what I've learned. So that's what this is. And that's how I've gone from doing the very spiritual stuff to like shifting out of it and doing stuff that's still powerful and still positive, just a little bit different. So the change isn't huge, but it is there. The other thing that I want to remind you, is that other people cannot dictate where you are, where you're going, or what you're doing in this life. So when other people start to give you feedback, you don't have to take it. You can, but you don't have to. And when people are giving us feedback or ideas, they're only coming from a place of love and trying to help us and trying to support us. But at the end of the day, you're the one living this life. You're the one going through these shifts and changes. So you're the only one who can really make the call on what you're going to do. So you can take their ideas and maybe morph them into something else. And you can try something different all the time. That doesn't have to do with other people. And you don't need other people's approval or other people's, you don't need other people's approval to make you feel like whatever move you're making is the right one. As long as you feel like you're making the right move, that's all you need. So embrace change and try not to cling too hard to, like I said, cling too hard to what is normal for you, because it's gonna change. It's always changing. It's been changing for us for some time now. I hope this all makes sense. I hope it gives you some sort of inspiration or whatever. If you guys have any questions about this topic or other topics, please leave a comment so I can address it in future videos. And I'm really excited to be back and doing this stuff. And I just hope you guys have a really awesome day. Okay, love you guys. Bye.